Live from New York, this is the Harvey Hour. My name is Nathan Harvey. It's great to have you in today on a Tuesday. As always, I'm joined alongside my dad, Stephen Harvey. How you doing today on this Tuesday?
Very good, very good. Some very exciting games over the weekend. We're going to recap those.
Weekly report later on in the show today. Should be good. We got some news that we got to get into. We got to talk about the Patriots game. We haven't talked about the Patriots really all year, and I think it's time we finally talk about it after a monumental win. So we'll get into that. But let's start off with the breaking news that broke yesterday, which is that indeed the Giants are moving on from head coach Brian Daboll after several seasons of maybe some high expectations and low results. After finishing 20-40-1 over the 4 seasons with the team, they have decided, John Mara and the Tisch family has decided to let Brian Daboll go and make offensive coordinator Mike Kafka the interim head coach. There was rumors after the Denver game that off the plane, Mara would fire Daboll. He survived that, but he doesn't survive to the end of the season. And after starting 2-8, they decide that now it is time to relieve Daboll of his head coaching duties. So my question to you is, ultimately, do you like or dislike Brian Daboll being fired after Week 10?
I like it. And we predicted this way back. You looked at the Giants' schedule. You looked at their talent. You looked at the past results recently, since they went to the playoffs now a long time ago, 3 years ago. And it just wasn't in the cards for Brian Daboll. He's fired. I think it's not so much about what he did in the past, it's what he's done this year. I mean, he's lost so many winnable games. You know, when they had double-digit leads, they led the Saints, and they lost 26-14. They led the Broncos. All these games by double digits. They lost 33-32. And this just past weekend, the game that cost him his job, he lost to the Bears 24-20. Even the game, the opener against the Commanders, they were behind. They lost 21-6, but they started the fourth quarter down 1 score. They need to do better. And the feeling in the front office is that the Giants have the talent to win, which I think is questionable, and why Shane was not fired. I think that's the main reason. They have Dart, Neighbors, Scatteraboo, Carter, Burns, Thibodeau. Those are I think they're leading players. Dart and Neighbors and Scatteraboo were all hurt. Scatteraboo and Neighbors out for the year. The Giants' defense is, with all the talent that they supposedly have, it's played pretty poorly. The feeling is the Giants could have a top 5 defense with the right system. So I'd think the defensive coordinator is short for the life of the Giants, too. Mike Kafka gets an audition, but most people feel that the next coach is coming from outside the organization. Shane has made his share of mistakes, that's for sure. He led by the decision not to retain Saquon Barkley. Look how well Jones has played this year as well. Daniel Jones playing for the Colts. He also let Leonard Williams and Xavier McKinney go. He drafted a bunch of busts here: Evan Neal, Devontae Banks, and Hyatt, Jalen Hyatt. And the free agencies haven't performed. I don't even know these people: John Runyon, Mark Glowinski, and James Hudson. I know Runyon, but the others I don't know. So time will tell. I was listening to the Fan yesterday, and people were livid that Shane didn't get fired as well. But the front office seems to think he's doing a good job.
I completely and utterly disagree with you. Brian Daboll was a scapegoat of the New York Giants. You already let the QB go. You had to bench the quarterback. You were stuck on Jackson Dart. And Brian Daboll, this was kind of like the last hurrah, and you had to make some sort of change eventually, and it just came out of the feet of Brian Daboll. But I think we need to understand Brian Daboll is a very, very good coach. He made an erratic Josh Allen look really good. Transformed the league leader in red zone interceptions to having basically none the following year. They had to start Russ. I'm not sure who exactly made that executive decision to start Russ. I think it was more so Joe Shane pushing to go get Russ, because if we remember last year, they met with him in an airport, if I'm not mistaken, but they wouldn't let him be the starter. So then Russ moved over to Pittsburgh and then ultimately was the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback and then eventually collapsed. Remember, the last 5-6 games, the offense averaged 14 points a game. Daboll fought very, very hard. The video's out there for Jackson Dart. Joe Shane did not want Dart at all. So if we're taking a look at a really good move, it's Brian Daboll pushing for Jackson Dart 100%. And you know what? It worked. It worked at a tremendously high level. People are complaining about, Jackson Dart, taking all those hits. He could slide. He just doesn't. I don't know if that could have been coaching. That very well could just be, instinct, just, generating contact because Jackson Dart had that level of confidence. And all we heard from the media and from fans is Jackson Dart looks like the Giants franchise quarterback. They weren't saying that about Russ for the first 3 weeks of the season. And in fact, the data backs it up. Let's take a look at what the Giants offense has done since Jackson Dart has become the starter. 8th in total yards. 10th in points scored. 5th in first downs. 5th in third down percentage. 9th in interception percentage. 31st in sacks allowed. Their offensive line is terrible. This is a top 5, top 10 offense with Jackson Dart out there. Their production on the field has shown each and every time. The shortcoming is not on Brian Daboll's ability to coach the offense. You know why? He's an offensive coach. Normally, you take a look at it at a head coaching job and say, is he doing his job? Well, Brian Daboll being an offensive coach, yes, he is. He is doing his job. Because we saw what the offense was with Russ and some of those same statistics. Time of possession, by the way, with Jackson Dart, they have the 5th most time of possession. They were 19th in time of possession with Russell Wilson. And with Russ at quarterback, they were 31st on third down percentage. They are 5th in the league right now. They were 15th in first downs. They're 5th with Jackson Dart. The offense just operates better. And in the red zone, completion percentage, 12 of 28 for Jackson Dart. That's 43%. 4 of 18, 22.2% with Russell Wilson. Jackson Dart had 103 yards in the red zone. Russell Wilson has 16. Jackson Dart has 6 touchdowns, no picks. Passer rating at 92. Russ has nothing, no touchdowns, no picks. Passer rating at 39.6. That's the same passer rating as if you throw it in the dirt every single time. You had to start Russ because you paid him a nice contract. That doesn't fall on Daboll. That falls on maybe management. That falls on Joe Shane pushing to go get Russ. Brian Daboll wanted Jackson Dart, and I guarantee you, the reason why the Daboll even went with Jackson Dart in the first place is because if you kept Russ out there one more game and got obliterated against the Chargers, he probably would have been fired after week 4. But you bring up an interesting point about how, they're blowing all these leads. They're consistently blowing all these fourth quarter leads against the Broncos, now against the Bears. Let's take a look at some of those drives, shall we, about those 2 blowout games. Against the Bears had 9 plays, 91 yards in 2 minutes and 17 seconds for a touchdown, which made it 20-17. By the way, they started the fourth quarter up 17-10. Then the Bears' following offensive possession, 4 plays, 53 yards, a minute 6, a touchdown. Where's the defensive stops? Where's anything like that? Russell Wilson led offense. 3 plays, 4 yards, 2 minutes, 28 seconds, punt. 3 plays, -8 yards, 1 minute, 3 seconds, punt. 6 plays, 11 yards, 109, turnover on downs. Russ can't operate the offense. You cannot put this Bears game on Brian Daboll. You know why? Russell Wilson's his quarterback. He had 1 dink and dunk that went 41 yards. His average depth of target was 0.5 yards. 0.5. That is beyond check down. That should not even moving the offense down the field. That Broncos game, which we've talked about before. Let's see how the defense did against the Broncos when they were up 19-0. 8 plays, 78 yards, 3 minutes, 33 seconds, touchdown, made it 19-8. 13 plays, 74 yards, 5 minutes, 1 second, touchdown, made it 26-16. 4 plays, 19 yards, 56 seconds, touchdown, made it 26-23. 6 plays, 68 yards, 51 seconds, touchdown, made it 30-26. 4 plays, 56 yards, 37 seconds, they kicked the game-winning field goal, they won 33-32. 35 plays, 295 yards allowed, 4 touchdowns, 1 field goal, 33 points allowed, 8.43 yards a play. And it's the offense that has the issue. Their offense in that game, 6 plays, 67 yards, 3 minutes, 54 seconds, touchdown. 3 plays, 5 yards, 26 seconds. That was the interception. Why not run it more? They ran it on first and second down. They got 5 yards, 2.5 yards a carry. That following possession after the Broncos scored a touchdown, 3 plays, 2 yards, a minute, 9 seconds, punt. Ran it on the first 2 downs. 2 rushing yards on 2 carries, 1 yard a carry. The final drive, 7 plays, 65 yards, 114 and a touchdown. The offense is the issue? They put up 32 points against one of the best defenses in the NFL right now. The one that is beyond the pace to pass that famous, the Bears defense that has the sack record. Yeah, that defense, they put up 32 points against. And it's Brian Daboll's fault that Shane Bowen has done a horrible job with the defense. In fact, let's talk about it because we talk about those non-clutch moments, right? The fall aparts. Let's check how the defense has done in the fourth quarter. is dead last in basically every single major statistic. Touchdowns allowed, dead last. Total yards allowed, dead last. Yards per play allowed, dead last. First downs allowed, they're 31st in the league. EPA per play allowed, they're dead last. QB pressure rate, they're 29th. And it's Brian Daboll's fault that the defense can't perform very well. It's Brian Daboll's fault that the offense, now everybody's saying Jackson Dart is the guy. It's Brian Daboll's fault that he had to start Russell Wilson after Russ has a 1-year, $10.5 million contract and can't throw it and hit and in the red zone, went airmail, run into the defense, and then hit the crossbar in the red zone against the Chiefs. It's Brian Daboll's fault that Shane Bowen was a terrible hire and his defense is average, the 29th best defense in the NFL. And that's Brian Daboll's fault. So respectfully, Brian Daboll
is a head coach.
Correct, but he's an offensive head coach.
That's okay. So, but he is the head coach. He could fire the defensive coordinator if he wanted to.
He could.
Right. Why didn't he?
Because I think that's a great question. Why didn't John Mara?
He could.
Why didn't Joe Shane?
He could put Jameis Winston in for Russell Wilson. Everybody knows
not the issue, though.
Russell Wilson's done.
Well, no, they've Jackson Dart.
Why is he the backup quarterback to Jackson Dart?
That is a great question.
Why not switch to Jameis Winston?
That is a great question. Here's what I'm thinking. There's something behind the scenes where Joe Shane or John Mara is saying we can't put Russ as the third string quarterback. There has to be some reason.
You don't know that for a fact. I think
everybody would realize.
The head coach would have that call. He'd be able to make that call. He could argue for that call.
They're paying Russ too much money to be the third quarterback.
Brian Daboll argued for drafting Jackson Dart.
Yeah,
and
Joe Shane didn't want that.
But they did draft him.
Correct. And look at what Brian Daboll has done for a guy who everybody thought Jackson Dart was overdrafted, and people were clowning on the Giants for taking Dart and trading back into the first round to go get Jackson Dart.
When you have double-digit leads in the fourth quarter and your defense, as you show there, is last in the league in all those categories in the fourth quarter,
that's not Daboll's
and you
fault.
Lose those games, it's on the head coach.
How is it on the head coach?
It's on the head coach.
The
head
he's
coach
an offensive
is
head
not
coach.
just for the offense. The head coach is for both the offense
so
and
should
the
we
defense
fire John
and
Harbaugh?
The special teams.
Should we fire John Harbaugh then?
Why will we fire him?
He has the most second half chokes and fourth quarter chokes in NFL history since like 2008. Should we fire him? He hasn't won a Super Bowl since 2012 or 2013.
Oh, but he's been competitive in every year.
They've been competitive all these games. We blame Daboll.
They won 3 in a row after Lamar was out for a couple of games.
Right, but we're talking about the major choke artist, John Harbaugh.
Their defense was a mess, and he's fixed that. The defense is only giving up 15 points a game now.
But are we putting it on the head coach or putting on that Zach
points
Orr?
a game. I'd give that to the head coach. The head coach, they went out and made a trade. They got a safety that's now allowing their Hamilton, their best all-pro safety, to be freer out there. And look what it's done. Their defense has turned around.
Did we blame Belichick for the offensive woes?
Yes.
No, we didn't. We put it on Matt Patricia, Joe Judge, and Mac Jones.
No, I put that on the head coach.
We have to look back in the data. We put it on. You did not blame
the videotape.
You did not blame Belichick for Mac Jones's failures. In fact, when I brought that up, you defended Belichick in saying that Mac Jones was a bad quarterback. It's out there. We've talked about it consistently.
I think the difference in over the coaching careers between Bill Belichick and Brian Daboll is pretty distinct.
So here's the thing: do we give all the credit to Vance Joseph for the tremendous defensive performances from the Denver Broncos? Or do we say Sean Payton? What a great head coach leading the defense.
We give the defensive coordinator credit, and we give Sean Payton credit for hiring him.
Okay, so then here's the thing. We should not be blaming Brian Daboll for the defensive woes. We should be blaming Brian Daboll for hiring Shane Bowen. That's what you're saying. If we're saying,
you could look at it that way.
You just said it that way. So the Broncos defense, which is the third best in the NFL and was great last year.
About it. He needed to do something about it. They have a lot of talent on defense. It hasn't shown up. The defense, you showed it right there. In the fourth quarter, they stink.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe are they tired? Well, I don't know. Why are they so bad in the fourth quarter?
I think it's bad defensive play calling, a.k.a. Shane Bowen's fault. Because Brian Daboll's doing his job. He's making somebody who's considered overdrafted into a really good quarterback.
This has happened in multiple games now. This is a trend.
It's 2 games.
That the head coach has to do something about.
It's 2
and
games.
He didn't.
The Saints game, they kept turning the ball over. That's not a choke. That's just they couldn't hold on to the football. Scadaboo had a turnover. Slayton had a fumble. Dart had a fumble. And one of those fumbles got returned for a touchdown. So how are we putting that on, bro? They choked that game. No, they couldn't stop turning the ball over. That's not a choke. Look,
Wow.
if you're saying that we should be crediting Vance Joseph for the Broncos' great defense, and we give credit to Peyton for hiring Vance Joseph, then why can't it be in the inverse where we blame Shane Bowen for the defensive tragedy, and then give put blame on Daboll for hiring him?
But we both predicted he was going to get fired.
Right, but
in the middle of the year, you
right,
said
because Russ was the
on.
quarterback.
You right in the early in the season,
because Russ was the quarterback,
he's going to be fired.
Right, I think right now because Russ was the starting quarterback. I have no faith in Russ. I expect him to be fired if they kept Russ out
but
there.
it was also their schedule, too, and their
schedule
talent, and the overall talent of the team.
Right, but again, that doesn't fall on
him to be
Daboll.
fired.
That doesn't fall on Daboll. If they started Russ and the offense kept averaging the 17 points a game compared to the 23, almost 24 points a game that it is with Dart, if they kept with the 17 points a game, Daboll probably wouldn't have even made it to the Denver Broncos game. Because Russ couldn't do anything. The move to bench Russ and start Jackson Dart was a shot in the dark, and it hit. And now all of a sudden, the offense is clicking. Let's bring up the offensive numbers again since Jackson Dart started. This is a top 10 offense. Top 10 in total offense. The top 8 total offense. They're 8th in scoring offense.
No, I don't disagree with that.
And that's Brian Daboll, Mike Kafka, and Jackson Dart. It's those three. The defensive woes can't fall on a guy who doesn't operate the defense.
The guy works, Shane Bowen works for Brian Daboll.
Okay, so you fire the guy who has the issue, not the guy who hires him.
I think that they should have gotten rid of him. They should have gotten rid of Bowen.
I agree.
3 or 4 games ago.
Right, so you don't fire. You're saying what I'm saying. You don't fire the head coach for something that's not his fault.
It couldn't have been any worse.
Right.
Right, you could get rid of him, put almost anybody in there could do as well as that.
So
they should have gotten rid of him. That would have jump-started the defense. So
you're saying it's a bad firing? They fired the wrong guy.
Jump-started the offense. They should have fired the defensive coordinator to jump-start the defense.
You're saying what I'm saying.
They could have
You're
done
agreeing
that,
with me now.
That could have been Daboll is the one that calls that shot. He's the one that calls that shot.
Here's what's interesting, though.
And he didn't do it.
Right.
And he lost those games by when he was ahead by double digits.
He didn't lose them.
Sure he did. He's the head coach.
His offense put up 32 points against the third best defense in the NFL.
His defense allowed 33.
No, Shane Bowen's defense allowed 33 points.
I don't look at it that way, Nate.
How can you not look at it? So
the head coach is the man who's ultimately responsible.
So here's what's interesting.
Look at all in over history: baseball, basketball, football, any sport you look at. If the team is playing terrible, right, and they're losing, who's the first to go? The coach, the head coach, right? The manager or the head coach. It's sometimes the general manager.
Normally he's not making
Miami's
hundreds of millions of dollars compared to the players.
The general manager. Miami went out and won this week.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens to the Giants. Maybe they'll go on a run and win the rest of the season. Yeah. What will you say then if the Giants go out?
They're not
the rest of the season and win every game.
They're not going. That's literally impossible. They play the Green Bay Packers with that bad offensive line.
The Green Bay Packers scored 7 points against the Eagles.
Right, but
last
Russell
night.
Wilson will probably be the starting quarterback with Jackson Dart, having a concussion. You trust Mike apart? He doesn't move in the pocket.
I would say, you know what? If I were Mike Kafka, I'd sit down Russ. And
I agree.
Would start Jameis
I 100% agree.
We'll see if he does it.
I
Maybe
100% agree. And
Maybe
even after that,
that's something Brian Daboll should have done.
Well, here's the thing. Even after a home against Green Bay, they go at Lions. The Lions average 30 points a game at home.
The Lions lost to the Vikings.
What's the 29th ranked defense?
The Lions lost to the Vikings.
The Vikings defense was great. Now they're playing against the 29th best total defense.
The Giants defense could be good too.
Where have you seen it? Where have you seen it?
No, but it has a lot of talent.
So did the Browns in 2020, but they had a bad record.
They have a terrible system.
And they still have the guy who runs the system still there.
Should have been fired. Could have been fired by Brian Daboll. He should have been fired by Brian Daboll.
How do you know that's his choice?
He could have saved his
own job. How do you know that's
job.
his choice?
He could have made that. He could have made that case.
How do you know
case.
that the firing of a coach has to fall on Brian Daboll?
Because he's a head coach.
So you don't think an owner can make that decision? Owner just fired that coach.
Owners should. You know what? The owners, they should. If they're meddling in what's going on operating the team, then that's a problem too. And that's a problem for the Giants as well. If that's what's happening, because that doesn't happen with the Patriots. That doesn't happen with many teams. They don't. The ownership hires the head coach and the GM to run the team. Okay. They don't have. I don't think John Mara John Tisch are in there telling him what to do on game day. That's not happening.
Well, here's what's interesting. If Brian Daboll was a defensive coach, he could do exactly what Daboll did last year with the offense and what Dan Campbell did this past week with the Commanders. Take over the play calling.
There you go.
Daboll can't do that because he's not a defensive-minded coach.
Then he needed to get rid of the Bowen and put somebody else in there.
I don't disagree with that.
That could have been his choice. He's the head coach. He didn't do it. He suffered with the results. And he's held accountable.
Stephen Ross fired the issue with the Dolphins.
When you become the head coach of an NFL team, you're the one that's ultimately accountable. The buck stops with you, and you should know that. And Brian Daboll knew that. He knew that.
Not necessarily.
Every head coach knows that they're there. You're only as good as your record, as a win and loss record. That's what counts the most in the NFL. It's a business.
Well, the Dolphins have a personnel issue. Do they fire Mike McDaniel or bench Tua? No, they fired Chris Greer, the guy who bought all the groceries. These offseason acquisitions, what have they done? The offensive line that Joe Schoen built, that he was building through the trenches. They have the second worst run defense in the NFL, and their offensive line is bottom of the league.
Well,
building through the trenches.
No, but they've improved it a lot. You just showed the stats, right?
That's the offense. That's not pass blocking.
The offense.
No,
right?
Yeah, the offense. Sacks allowed is 31st. Building through the trenches. No. Offensive line is dead last, second to last in sacks allowed with Dart as the starter.
But the offense is productive, though.
Yeah, that's Jackson Dart being the one to make the plays on Brian Daboll's offense. Brian Daboll will get hired instantly. He may sit out this year for the rest of the year. He may sign as an advisor for other teams. The Patriots might want to bring him in. The Bills, obviously, although Sean McDermott doesn't like that idea, there's a chance there. I think this is a complete waste of. You're hindering a guy. And here's how you know. Regardless of who the head coach is, John Gruden's name's thrown out there. Belichick's focused on Wake Forest, but he could be there. You name whatever coach you want to bring. What if Jackson Dart doesn't get to the same level of efficiency as he does right now? That's how you know you fired the wrong coach. If Jackson Dart looks nothing like he did over the next couple weeks, whenever he gets back from his concussion.
We don't know when he's coming back.
Right.
My thing is that he's not coming back this week.
Correct.
He's going to be out, probably not. So if it's a choice between Russ and Jane, I bench Russ.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. If Jackson Dart doesn't perform anywhere near the same.
What's Kafka got to lose? What's he have to lose?
He has nothing to lose. But
he's having an audition.
My point is.
He should switch quarterback.
My point is, I'm skipping the end of this season. I'm talking about, maybe this season, we'll see. But if next season, whoever they hire.
A lot of this season left.
Well, their season's over. They have 2 wins. But if we go into next year, give it a month. If Jackson Dart looks nothing like he does this season, you'll know they fired the wrong guy. You know they shouldn't have fired Daboll.
All right, well, that's a hypothetical. Well, we're going to have to wait and see, right?
I know. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm asking you. If Jackson Dart looks nothing like he does over the last, 5-6 weeks that he's played, do you think that they would have fired the wrong coach?
Well, maybe. We'll have to wait and see.
Here's my question. Joe Schoen is head of this operation now. Should they have fired both at the same time?
I think so. I do. I think they should have, both of them.
John Mara has said that, quote, "We feel like Joe has assembled a good young nucleus of talent, and we look forward to its development. Unfortunately, the results of the past 3 years have not been what any of us want. We take full responsibility for those results and look forward to the kind of success our fans expect." He's saying that Joe Schoen will lead the spear on this to find a next head coach. Is that a mistake?
Personally, I think so. I think both of them should be fired. I thought that, I thought that's what would happen. I guess they don't want that much instability all at once. They're going to keep Shane, but I don't know why. I think he's got a pretty poor track record too. They think they have a lot of talent. Well, it hasn't shown up especially on the defense.
Yeah.
Maybe the offense is improving now, but not the defense. And it should be good because they do have talent on the defense.
Exactly. Although, again, secondary is really tough. Injuries, not good play. You drafted Deontay Banks, although I'm not going to completely discredit that because we have to realize JSN, Zay Flowers, and there was another receiver that I'm forgetting. Quinton Johnston, all went right before the Giants pick. It might have been 3 straight picks, or there was one gap in there. The Giants obviously wanted a receiver. 3 straight
neighbors.
Well, no, I'm talking about in that. I think it was the 2023 draft. I think it was 3 straight receivers went. Quinton Johnston,
Yeah.
Zay Flowers, and JSN. the order might be a little bit off. And then it was the Giants pick a little bit later.
And who did they take?
They drafted Deonte Banks. My guess is they probably would have gone a receiver there. Well, no, my guess is they probably would have gone a receiver there, but obviously you just lost like 3 of the top guys available. So you probably had best player available at that point, which is Deonte Banks. So while, yeah, Banks has been terrible, you're not going to, try to reach on a guy who maybe you had like a 4th round draft trade in the first round at pick 125 or whatever they had that year. So,
yeah, well, yeah, it is what it is. He got fired, and
mark my words, Brian Daboll, he could become the head coach.
I don't think anyone's that surprised by that.
No one's surprised by it. I just think it's a bad firing because he worked. If the offense was Russ's offense and they were terrible, I would say fine, fire him. So be it. Jackson Dart, everyone's saying he's the franchise guy.
My advice to Mike Kafka: bench Russ and put in Jameis Winston if Dart can't play.
Yeah, no, I'm completely on board with that. Let's get to our next topic here. The Patriots, what a win it was for them. 2.5-point road underdogs there. The Buccaneers came up a little bit short. They lost 28-23. Drake May, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns. Did have 1 pick late in the game. Baker Mayfield, 273 yards. He had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, although I think the spotlight was all on the rookies.
No, Drake May had an interception.
I said Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
The rookies, Travion Henderson, 2 rushing touchdowns, and there was Kyle Williams had a speed. He was like lightning out there on that quick route.
That was it, though.
Going all the way. That was it. Those were basically all the scores there. But yeah, the rookies really shone in this one. 3 total touchdowns from them. My question to you is ultimately, after this big-time win, I think this was really, a spot, a fork in the road of if they lose to the Buccaneers, are they for real? And then the question I'm going to ask you now, with this win over Tampa Bay, are the Patriots serious Super Bowl contenders?
Well, my summary on this one is, in a back-and-forth game, the Patriots come out on top. Now 2 games ahead of the division. Is their win streak ever going to stop? I'm not so sure. Their schedule looks pretty manageable here. I think they're going to keep winning. And my question to you, Nate, should Drake May be considered an MVP candidate?
He's currently the leader.
He's been playing. He's the leader. And how about the breakout game for Travion Henderson? He should be the starting running back now, I'm pretty sure. The Pats defense come up big on the last drive, preventing Mayfield magic to happen again. It was on his way to driving down the field to score, and they stopped that drive. So that's big. And Drake May, 16 of 31, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. QBR was 55. Above 50 is generally pretty good. He had a sack. Henderson, 14 carries, 147 yards, and 2 TDs. That's his breakout game. That shows what he can do. He should be in there starting now, I think. Mac Hollins and the wide receivers, Stephon Diggs, 6 catches for Hollins for 106 yards, and Diggs 5 for 46, and the touchdown catch he had was a highlight reel. So the Pats look to me to be for real, particularly beating the Bucs the way they did.
Look, I'll say this. I do think that the Patriots, they're legitimate threats for the number 1 seed in the AFC, and I bet on it a couple weeks ago, and I've already tripled my money if I want to cash out right now on it because I jumped on it. I believed in the Patriots here, and you know what? About damn time. Mike Vrabel thinks, Travion Henderson's a little bit small, a tiny bit small. He broke a few tackles and looked like lightning out there. So I think that needs to be thrown out the window there because there's a reason why he's not playing. A lot of question marks, but it seems like everyone's saying he's not an every down back.
Game, and that's why
he had 1 fumble. Ramondre Stevens had like 55 since he came into the league. So I don't think that's the reason whatsoever.
He didn't have much choice to play him this game because Jennings got hurt.
Ramondre Stevenson's been out. So Travion Henderson was already going to be the guy.
So he was going to be the number 1 running back anyway by default.
Right.
And he lived up to it. And it was a defining game for him. They should leave him out there.
Well, that's what I've been saying. That's what I was actually going to get into. Travion Henderson, I've been waiting because the first time he touched the football since coming to the Patriots was a punt return touchdown. That was the first time we ever saw him in a Patriots jersey out on the field making plays, was a punt return touchdown. And I knew from that instant, and I even said it for the draft, I love the pick. You can go back and check our draft analysis. I love the pick for Travion Henderson because they needed a running back. Ramondre Stevenson's had fumble issues and just wasn't effective anymore. So you go out and get him, and what do? You keep him on the bench. You try to split. It was basically running back by committee out there. When I saw Travion Henderson explode onto the scene, he's had games of 4.6 yards a carry, 7.5 yards a carry. This one, 10.5 yards a carry. The first ever game he played against the Raiders was 5.4 yards a carry. He was just a more effective running back than Ramondre Stevenson was. Jennings has had a couple nice carries. Antonio Gibson, before he was out for the year, he had a couple good carries, but ultimately, your speedy guy, and we saw it in this one, he was like lightning out there, going up and down the field, even checking with the sideline to see if he should score or go down, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, he was very, very good against a Todd Bowles defense that is known for stopping the run. And I thought he did a absolutely tremendous job. And honestly, bailed out an average Drake May performance because he threw a pick. Then the Buccaneers go down. I believe they score. And all of a sudden now they need to figure out what to do. And it was just run the football. And then Henderson breaks out and then ends up scoring. So I think ultimately Travion Henderson will be the number one running back for the New England Patriots. It's just a matter of when. They gave Stevenson, I believe they gave him a decent extension, but he can't stop fumbling the football. And I think running back by committee is not a way to play. My concern is, and why I think they're not true Super Bowl contenders, but I do think they could win a playoff game, and I think they have a shot of winning the number 1 seed, is they don't really have holes. I mean, I think Marcus Jones is a pretty big hole if you put him in solo coverage, instead of having him as like a shifty, nifty little nickel back or whatever the case may be. But really, because the thing about the Indianapolis Colts, if they can't run the ball effectively and Daniel Jones gets pressured, that's what I'm concerned about, and their pass defense isn't great. The Broncos currently don't have an offense that moves more than 2 yards down the field at any given time. They had 8 3-and-outs the game the last week. So the Patriots, Drake May can have an okay game, sub 90 passer rating. All of a sudden, the running game breaks out for 166 yards and 2 touchdowns. They had 6.1 yards a carry. Drake May's deep ball is incredible. The throw to Mac Hollins I thought was beautiful.
Nice.
The 4th and goal, I think relatively early in the game, or right before the end of the first half. They were going to get the ball open the second half, but the 4th and goal to go for it. Stephon Diggs, great catch in the corner of the end zone. I thought that was a great throw and even a better catch. So this offense, while it doesn't have the number, like really the name value of a Justin Jefferson or any of those top guys, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, even a Emeka Egbuka, they don't have a receiver like that. It's a bunch of really fast guys. They become one of the slowest wide receiver course to now it looks like one of the fastest. Demario Douglas has speed. Stephon Diggs has a couple good moments, but Kyle Williams, 72 yards. He had 1 catch on the day. Exploded for 72 yards. Matt Collins also blown off. He had 6 catches, 106 yards.
In terms of elite wide receivers, you can't say the Patriots
don't have it. No.
They don't have one. Although Kayshon Boutte, I think, is up and coming.
He's their
player.
He's their best deep ball guy.
Yeah. But I do think Stephon Diggs is an elite wide receiver. He just hasn't. They haven't given him the touches yet. And I think he showed it when the chips were down and they needed to get the touchdown on 4th down. He pulled it in, and that was a great catch. That was a great catch. He was the right guy to go to. He's the guy to go to when you need a big play. Mac Hollins looks pretty good too. These guys aren't big names, but Stephon Diggs is a big name.
Right. It's just that
he's coming back from the injury.
Well, yeah, and also the end of the Buffalo Bills tenure, the rocky relationship supposedly between him and Josh Allen wasn't great. But yeah, ultimately, no. I think this team will win a playoff game. I think they have a serious shot at winning the AFC, especially with the Buffalo Bills not figuring out their defense. And also, Josh Allen keeps turning the ball over. I think Denver right now, they don't have an offense that could do really anything that effectively outside of the 4th quarter. I mean, the Raiders game was horrible. The Raiders had, the 25th best defense, and they couldn't do anything against them.
In terms of the Patriots being a Super Bowl contender, you mentioned the Colts.
Yep.
I'm not so sure about them.
Correct.
I'm not so sure about them. We're going to talk about them in a minute in the recap of the game over in Berlin. You talk about Buffalo. Buffalo's 2 games behind the Patriots right now.
And
Josh Allen.
The Patriots already beat them once.
Josh Allen making mistakes again. Yeah. Their claim to fame and their winning in the last couple of years is Josh Allen minimized turnovers. Right. He's been turning the ball over, so that's a problem.
True.
You look at the Chargers are
offensive
line issues. You look at the Chiefs; they're 5-4.
Currently not in the playoffs.
But not in the playoffs right now. 5-4, but everyone looks at them as a team to measure yourself against.
True.
The Ravens are on the outside looking in.
Still
they have a 4-5 record right now. Pittsburgh, I don't feel like they're going anywhere after they lost that game against the Chargers. So I think the Patriots are right up there.
They have to be.
I happen to be a little biased.
Just by default, they are. Just by default.
Yeah, by default. Yeah. Just because the AFC doesn't have a knockout team really.
Well, yeah. I think especially
the Colts, but Daniel Jones.
You need things to go right.
I worry about him a little bit.
Right. Well, and I think what's also interesting is that The reason why the Patriots will be at the top, in my opinion, is they've had the easiest schedule and they have the easiest schedule moving forward. So my only concern is why I don't think they're true Super Bowl but deep playoff contenders is the level of competition. They're not battle ready. They're not battle tested. Because if you play a bunch of bums for 95% of your games, you're up against a very nicely built team like the Chiefs with Andy Reid. How are they going to scheme up against an Andy Reid-led offense or play up against a Spagnuolo-led defense if all of a sudden they've been playing like the level of competition like the Titans or the Browns?
But what they got to do is get the number 1 seed, and then they get
have a bye.
And then they play the worst available team after the first round of after the wild card weekend.
Well, here's what I'm saying.
Right? So they would have a chance to win that first playoff game.
You better hope and pray the Jaguars hold on for dear life, because I think if the Chiefs get in, it's playoff Kansas City, just like the Patriots. If they could be 9-7, make the playoffs, you're afraid of them because of who they got behind center. You're afraid of who they have on the sideline waiting in Andy Reid. That's who you fear. I would fear the Chiefs, regardless of what their record is.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
So I think the Jacksonville Jaguars, while they had a terrible loss to the Houston Texans led by Davis Mills,
I don't think
they need to hold on for dear life.
I don't think they'll make it.
And I think if they
Trevor
don't,
Lawrence, he's not a playoff quarterback.
Well, we've been on that for a while. We've been on that for a while.
Getting a team to the playoffs.
And if it's not the Jaguars, you have to hope the Chiefs slip up once or twice more and the Ravens win out. That's what you're hoping on.
Yeah.
Because there's no shot Miami gets into there.
One more thing I'll say about Drake May.
Sure.
He throws a very catchable ball.
Yes.
You notice his ball? It's a very catchable ball.
Yeah.
It's not like a laser beam. He puts it out there.
That Matt Collins throw was right there.
Yeah, right there. But it wasn't like a laser beam.
No, and it wasn't a rainbow where he's waiting for it and waiting for it.
It was perfectly thrown.
Yeah. Well, and I think that really is a testament to hiring back Josh McDaniels. Because supposedly he's operating essentially the same offense Brady ran. They're running a lot of the same plays.
I always thought he looked a little bit like
Brady.
Brady.
You said that. you did say that.
He's tall and he's skinny.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I will say though, the one thing I have a concern with. The same thing with Jackson Dart. Slide, please.
Yeah.
You have to slide.
He's had a concussion.
You make some big time runs, but slide. Because I want you out there. And while Josh Dobbs came in for a couple plays, was it a game or two ago?
He's not somebody you want out there on a regular
basis.
He
made a couple great plays.
Yeah, but
he's not your starter.
No, not at all.
Drake May's the starting guy for the future, 100%. Yeah. I want him out there.
Another thing I'd say, Vrabel has them playing very disciplined football.
Yes.
They only had a couple of penalties in that game against the Bucs.
And that's exactly what you want, 110%. And I'll also say this just for the sake of saying it. Carlton Davis, love him as a player, loved him when he was at the Lions. I'm scared. He cannot go one-on-one coverage. We saw him against the Atlanta Falcons.
They have quite a few backs. They have Mapu. Yeah. Right? He's pretty good. Hawkins.
He's all right.
He's good. Right? I think the defensive Gonzalez, he's good.
Didn't have a great game in this one. He was targeted 12 times. He allowed 5 catches.
Well, he always goes against the toughest receivers. So.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to target him a lot. I will say
he's going against him. Yeah.
It's a tough matchup. Marcus Jones, though, I've said it for 2 years now. Stop putting him one-on-one man coverage against guys who are 6'4". He's like 5'8".
Yeah, he got burned badly by Drake London.
Oh yeah, big time. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, but coming up, we got the weekly report. It's where you headline every single game from each prior week. So we're gonna get into that, as well as Thursday Night Football. Jets at the Nor'easter Patriots. They're wearing their rivalry uniform. That's something that they're doing this year. So we'll break down that game as well as the weekly report, of course. All of this right after this very short break.
Using Wi-Fi without NordVPN could mean sharing your private stuff with more people than you think. Stay safe on public Wi-Fi. Get NordVPN's special offer and encrypt your internet connection. NordVPN. Online security starts with a click.
Welcome back to the Harvey Hour. My name is Nathan Harvey. It is great to have you in here on a Tuesday. Great show so far. Thank you for the constant support, as always. I'm joined alongside my dad, Stephen Harvey. Let's get into our next topic of today's show, which is your weekly report. Every single week throughout this NFL season, or I think we've only missed 2, but basically every single week throughout this NFL season, you headline every single game and give a very short takeaway, or the key takeaway from each game. So I think let's begin with the first one, which should be the Berlin game.
That's right. Jonathan Taylor is too much for Atlanta. Falcons 25, Colts 31. My summary here, what a game. 244 yards, 3 TDs by Jonathan Taylor. Proving the Falcons' game plan against him was a total failure. And I believe as Taylor goes, so goes the Colts. He's the best back in the league, in my opinion, and an MVP candidate. Daniel, our offensive player of the year. If he doesn't get that, if he doesn't get the MVP, he should get offensive player of the year, given the way he's been playing. He's got over 1,000 yards now. That game in Berlin, if the Colts had lost that, what a shame it would have been after that performance by him. Spectacular, right? I say the Colts go as Taylor goes. Mainly because Daniel Jones, in my mind, still a question mark as he's been turning the ball over at an alarming rate the past 2 games. He had 1 interception this game. He had 3 fumbles. He lost 1 of them. Thank God he didn't lose all 3. They wouldn't have won the game. He had 5 turnovers last week against the Steelers. So, hey, Daniel, what's the story? You're looking like you played for the Giants again. You gotta stop those turnovers. That's key. But he was important to the win. I mean, he made some key throws, particularly to Warren, their rookie tight end. Man, that guy is good. Taylor, the player, the 4th player to have 200 yards rushing and 3 TDs twice in a career, in some pretty good company. Jimmy Brown, Adrian Peterson, and Derrick Henry. Falcons lost their 4th straight game. It's an average performance by Bijan Robinson. I mean, here is the marquee matchup against Jonathan Taylor, the 2 probably best running backs in the league. And Bijan Robinson goes 17 carries for 84 yards. And now they're 3-6. Not good. And Raheem Morris, I put some of that on him. Why don't you give him the ball to Robinson more? I mean, the other guy, Atlier, was out there. He played. He actually did okay. He had a nice drive there. They went down and got a touchdown, and he carried the ball almost every play in that drive. But Bijan Robinson is the guy, man. And Raheem Morris says he's the best player in the NFL. Well, how come he's only out there, 17, touching the ball 17 times in the running game? Morris said, we had plenty of opportunities to win it. Well, you didn't. You didn't. In fact, the last-second field goal put it into overtime, and then the Colts won the toss and deferred to you. You couldn't go down the field and do anything. And then they went right down the field, and they could have kicked the field goal. I was thinking, why aren't they kicking the field goal here? They're so close. Hand it off to Taylor. They can't stop him. They know it's happened. They know he's getting the ball.
Yeah.
They know he's coming right at him, and he runs it in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Huh? I mean, the QBR for Michael Penix was 29.7.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
29.7. Jones wasn't a hell of a lot better.
No.
31.7, but he had those big plays. He had some big plays, and he got sacked 7 times in this game.
Yeah, yeah.
The O-line is an issue for the Colts right now, right? Yeah. They sacked him a ton last week, and they sacked him big time in this game. He's a tough guy. I'm not taking anything away from him. Just got to, when you get hit, hang on to the ball, guy.
That's an issue.
You got to hang on to the ball.
Well, hold on. I will point out, and you're going to hate hearing this, that's something that Brian Daboll actually worked on with him, is stopping his fumbles. Well, he's not there anymore. No, but I will say, though, if you squandered a nearly 300-yard performance from Jonathan Taylor, that would have been that would have made me pissed off.
Yeah, me too.
If I was Jonathan Taylor, I would be beside myself.
You know what? Well, I've seen in the league this year, when running backs have that kind of a game, the team wins.
Yeah.
Well, so the running game
I'd hope so.
The running game is so important. It's so important.
This is Jonathan Taylor's fourth 3-touchdown
game. When you can't run the ball and they tee off on the quarterback, chances are you're going to lose.
This is Jonathan Taylor's fourth 3-touchdown game, 3 rushing touchdown game.
They got to pray he stays healthy the rest of the season,
he had
because
35
they lose him.
touches in this game.
Forget it. That's it for them. He was really impressive.
Oh, yeah.
You don't get to see him. We don't get to watch them that often, but watching that game on Sunday morning, wow, that was quite a game, and he was the reason they won.
I'll point this out. We were shocked, stunned. The 10th pick in this prior draft, Chicago Bears select Colston Loveland. We were stunned because you and I both had Tyler Warren at number 10 because everybody thought he was the best tight end in this draft class. I don't care about that 58-yard catch and run. Do not care. Tyler Warren has been the best rookie tight end in this draft class by far. He's out efficiency-wise. He's beating out Brock Bowers of last year.
He makes some big catches, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
He really looked good in that game.
Tyler Warren, best rookie tight end, this
moving
season.
right along. Okay, well, we talked about the Patriots. The rookies scored 3 TDs and big win, and Drake May looking good.
I'll say this again. Please, Mike Vrabel, I don't care what you think about him not being an all-down back. Travion Henderson is the best running back you have. Start him the rest of the season, please. He's the best running back you have. That's all I'll say. All right, next game.
Okay, moving along to the Browns and the Jets. The Jets score back-to-back. It just took me by surprise on that one. Back-to-back special teams TDs for their second win. And they're lucky they did that. They wouldn't have won otherwise. The Browns 20 and the Jets 27. My summary here is scoring TDs on both a punt and a kickoff return was the answer to the Jets' prayers. Maybe the secret to winning their winning formula is trading away their best players.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, they did. They traded away 2 of their best players, and look they won their second game. The Jets' second win in a row. This guy, what's his name? Nwangwu. He had a 99-yard kickoff return in the first quarter. Then the Browns went 3 and out, and then Williams had a 74-yard punt return moments later. I think it was less than a minute later. That was unexpected and pretty amazing. Aaron Glenn said the special teams gave us a big spark today. I guess so. You wouldn't have won without them. Will McDonald had 4 sacks, tying a Jet single-seam record. And Fields was out there only 6 of 11 for 54 yards and 1 touchdown. His QBR, if you can believe it, was 15.8. 15.8. But he threw that screen pass to Hall for 42 yards and a TD, and he had a key scramble that had them keep the ball and hold possession to help run out the clock. Stefanski says he's sticking with Gabriel over Sanders. I'm not sure why.
Well, I'll say this. Second time in NFL history, you had a kick return followed by a punt return touchdown. First time it happened was, I think, 2011 Seahawks 49ers. Was it Ted Ginn Jr. had back-to-back kick return, then a punt return touchdown. Second time in NFL history that's ever happened. It gets really bad. I said this before. Justin Fields, what a great game against the worst defense in the NFL. I'll say this. Justin Fields, 11th fewest passing yards through 8 starts since 2000 in NFL history.
In NFL history.
A number of times, Jets quarterbacks failed to net 50 passing yards in a game, and the number of starts they had in that time. Mark Sanchez, 1 time in 62 starts. Geno Smith, 3 times in 30 starts. Sam Darnold, 1 time in 38 starts. Zach Wilson, 2 times in 33 starts. Justin Fields, 4 times in 8 starts.
Wow.
That's Glenn Naughton off X.
Do you think it's all his fault?
Yes.
Though?
Oh, yes.
You think it's his fault?
No. If you look at the film, I've watched a lot of all 22 games, especially against the Broncos overseas. There are guys who are wide open, but Fields just doesn't see them.
Yeah.
Completely doesn't see them. We have number 82. He's always open. And then we also have Mason Taylor, their tight end. He breaks out a little bit late, but he's open as well. There are pockets where Justin Fields just isn't throwing it. And if you have 11 attempts for the second time this season, I mean, this offense, and I'll say this again, the offense doesn't move with Justin Fields at quarterback.
Well, how come they only threw it 11 times? I mean, that's the call.
They ran it 33.
The plays come in from the sideline, right? They chose to only throw it.
The Jets should have lost this game. The Jets should have lost it. It should have been 20 to 13.
Special teams, so the reason they won.
Saved them. I will also say this. It's getting close to even me saying, let's at least see Shedeur Sanders. See him.
Okay.
Start him in the fourth quarter.
I'd like to see him next week, but that's not going to happen.
There's a shot they play I think they play the Ravens. And remember, he turned down the Ravens. He didn't want to be a backup to Lamar.
Oh.
Imagine Stefanski, holds his head in shame and says, number 12, get out there.
Yeah.
Well, you could see it. If
so.
Dylan Gabriel gets cooked in the first 3 quarters,
maybe.
We have a shot, maybe. We'll see.
Okay, moving right along here. The Texans score 26 unanswered points and comeback win. This was a funny one, man. I watched some of this game. Jaguars 29, Texans 36. And my summary here, in a must-win game, the Texans came back from 19 points down with the Jaguars over the overwhelmed, with the Jaguars overwhelmed. Surprisingly, they did it with a backup quarterback, Davis Mills, at the helm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Davis Mills played very well, I thought. DeMarco Ryan showed the team a video of a boxer who dislocated his shoulder and still managed to knock out his opponent. So that's what they saw on Saturday night before this game. And it took them a while to remember that video to get down 19 points and go into the fourth quarter that far behind. But Mills had 2 DD passes in the fourth quarter and a 14-yard scramble for a TD to take the lead. And I didn't think they were going to get that touchdown, man. They kept getting penalties and kept getting moved back. They were on the 2-yard line. They wound up back at the 15, and then Mills scrambled in for the touchdown to take the lead with only 31 seconds left. The Jags tried to get into field goal range, but Lawrence, he got sacked and he fumbled it. It was picked up by, I think he picked it right out of the air, right?
Yeah.
By Rankins for a 32-yard score. It's the first time in 53 games the Jaguars led by 19 and lost. Lawrence, only 158 yards passing, sacked 5 times. His QBR was 29.7, 13 of 23, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He has not played well this year. I'm sorry.
No.
Mills, on the other hand, 27 of 45, 292, 2 TDs, 1 interception. QBR 57.5. He got sacked twice, and they really didn't have much of a running game. Nico Collins, 7 catches, 136 yards, and Schultz, 7 for 53. So, Davis Mills, hey, is he going to play this week?
We'll see if C.J. Stroud's good to go. I don't think I've heard anything on C.J. Stroud injury news. He could still be out. But yeah, we've been on this instantly. They gave Trevor Lawrence a $55 million per year contract for winning a playoff game. That's it. He hasn't looked great. Here's the thing. He had 158 passing yards. Even if you combine his rushing yards, he's still sub 200 total yards. That's not good. I mean, when are we going to see Trevor? Hold on. I'll also point this out.
When are we going to see the $55 million quarterback?
Well, here's something else I'm wondering. We got ripped on for having an issue. Remember that Liam Cohen Buccaneers news that we were like, Liam Cohen, why do you have to diss the Buccaneers? Everyone's like, Liam Cohen, offensive guru. Where?
Yeah.
Where?
Well, he
trying
was,
to find an offense at all, let alone offensive guru.
He was upset at the end of that game.
He was pissed.
He took his headset,
Slammed
threw it on the ground. Yeah. He was swearing on the sidelines.
I will say, though, thank God Sheldon Rankins ran it all the way. Otherwise, we wouldn't have covered. We would not have covered.
We got the cover on that one.
It was a minus 1.5 when we bet it. So if he didn't run it in for a touchdown, we would have lost that.
Yeah.
So thank God Sheldon Rankins. But this was a really, really just good win. I turned it off at 29-10. I turned it on, later on in the game when I saw, I think it was 29-24. That's when I turned it back. Well,
it went to an extra time after the Patriots game. That's how I saw it.
Oh, yeah, no, I looked at it because I turned it off at 29-10. I'm like, okay, this game's over. And then all of a sudden I check a little bit later, it's 29-24. I'm like, oh my God. And then I saw Davis Mills run all the way down. We have to remember, he was supposed to be their franchise quarterback.
I know.
They drafted him in the 3rd round, which,
they were smart to hang on to him.
Well, yeah, absolutely. By the way, I'll also point this out. Bill Belichick wanted to draft him over Drake May. Mac Jones. Just want to point that out there. This was Belichick's guy.
Yeah. Well, he proved himself in this game. He probably won't get to play again, but we'll see.
Thank God they had Nico Collins.
Yeah.
That defense didn't really show up, but when it mattered the most, it shut him out in the fourth quarter.
They have fallen off a lot from where they started the season, and that's the difference here because Trevor Lawrence isn't going to bring them back.
Your guy, Jacoby Myers, leading receivers, first game with the Jaguars.
Yeah,
so there you go. All right, let's go to the next game.
Okay, moving along here. Miami breaks 7-game losing streak against the Bills in a very surprising win. Miami 30, the Bills 13. The summary here: Miami trades their best defensive lineman and comes up with a win, helped by Allen's 2 turnovers, much to the Bills' chagrin. Tua, only beaten the Bills once before Sunday. A chain, 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, 1 of 59 yards, 1 of 35. He's their best player, in my mind, by far. Miami defense, less Jalen Phillips, traded to the Eagles, had 3 turnovers and 3 sacks. And Allen, after the game, they wanted it a bit more than us. No first downs until the 3rd quarter.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
And Allen's QBR, 28.7. He had 28 for 40, 306 yards, 2 TDs, and interception. So you can't pin it all on him. I mean, he did have fumble, too. 2 of 15 of 21, 173, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions again. That guy throws a lot of interceptions. His QBR was a little higher a lot higher at 61.2. A chain, though, 22 carries, 174 yards, 2 TDs. That's the reason they won.
I'll give a little bit of credit where credit's due. I've bashed on Tua. That throw to, was it Jalen Waddle with the rookie Harrison on him? That was a beautiful throw. It was, what, like a 50-something yard throw? I mean, it was beautiful. A gorgeous throw, perfect placement. It was a very, very good throw.
Yeah.
No, but this Dolphins team, I think this is just a one-off. Don't expect all of a sudden now this offense to take off and they'll win, the next 6 games.
Or their defense either.
No. I think there's just overall bad game.
I mean, they stopped Cook in this game. He only had 13 carries for 53 yards.
Right. And I think the fumble, Josh Allen, where he broke through and he was just carrying 4 defenders, then the next guy just punches the ball out. That's not going to happen every single day.
No.
But I think, no, this is on Sean McDermott. This is on the Bills defense. You cannot let an offense that has had this many issues, who just fired their GM, run havoc on you. Maybe it's the heat. Well, I mean, and I will say this. We are still in that period of where Tua is still decent. Wait till it gets to mid-November and December and January. We'll see the Dolphins resume to, what they normally do when it gets cold and freeze up. So this is the Bills are in danger. I've said that before. I already said with Sean McDermott.
They're 2 games behind in the division now.
Right, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. With Sean McDermott as the head coach, that Super Bowl window is shut, locked, and they threw the key away. Because Sean McDermott, when it matters most, makes some weird decisions. The offensive line isn't great. The running game, they finally got right. The defense is bad now.
Mm-hmm. And isn't the Patriots play the Bills in the last game of the season?
I believe so, yes.
I bet that game will be for the division. Because I think there's going to be a game.
Patriots might run away with it, though.
I think there's a game coming where the Patriots, they lose unexpectedly. I hope it's not against the Jets. The Jets usually play the Patriots tough.
That was with Mac Jones as starting quarterback. I remember... Was it Trevor Siemian versus Bailey Zappi? Was the when they broke the record? It would have been 16 straight games.
Yeah, that was the game was snowing. It was terrible.
Belichick put Mac Jones the emergency quarterback.
Hall had a long run. That was the difference in that game.
All right, let's go to the next game here.
Okay, here we go. We talked about Brian Daboll, the New York Giants, and the Bears. New York Giants blow another fourth quarter lead, and Daboll gets fired. Bears 24, Giants 20. My summary here, the Big Blue loses the lead late with another heartbreaking loss, which was finally too much for John Mara to bear, so Daboll was tossed.
To bear, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, right. Bear.
Yeah, you didn't even know.
Pretty good, huh? A little pun in there.
Pun not intended.
Yeah. Giants were up 20-10 with 10 minutes and 19 seconds left, but gave up 14 points to lose 24-17. Caleb Williams, he said, "We know who we are and we know we're real." And well, they showed it here. And their record now 6-3. I think maybe they are for real. Dart had 2 rushing TDs, but left the game early in the fourth quarter with a concussion. Wilson couldn't pull out the win. He played poorly, and you pointed out his terrible stats. Dart, before he left, had a QBR of 74.5. He's the real deal, I think. Williams, 71.6 on the QBR. And Williams, 20 of 36, 220 yards, 1 TD, no sacks, no turnovers. Swift, 13 carries for 80 yards. The Bears have found a running game, and I think that has a lot to do with their winning. Odunze, 6 receptions, 86 yards, and Loveland, 4 for 56.
I'll say this briefly. Defense is the issue. Dead last in nearly everything in the fourth quarter when it matters the most. If you do that as a defense and your offense since start became the starter, 8th in total yards, so they have the 8th best total offense, and 10th in points scored. The offense isn't, for once, the offense isn't the issue. It's the defense. Yeah. So they have to do some sort of reset, get a new coach. Martindale must be very, very happy he's not there anymore.
Where is he? Did he go?
Well, no, he got pissed at Daboll and quit.
I know, but where did he go?
He probably is enjoying retirement. That's what my guess is.
He's probably enjoying watching the Giants defense.
Yeah, they absolutely just fall apart now. Also, add Shane. He replaced Saquon Barkley with Devin Singletary. Nothing. And Tyrone Tracy is now the running back 1.
Yeah.
Not
well,
the
that's
guy.
because Scatterbo broke his leg.
Right, and even with that, Scatterbo had what, over 400 yards in 8 games. That's pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
I just think
It's another thing on Daboll, Nate.
Sure.
Well, while I was on this,
Sure.
He gave Wink Martindale such a hard time. He quit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Should have hung on to him. He was a decent defensive
Well,
coordinator.
he burnt that bridge.
Yeah, Daboll burnt that bridge.
He
That's
did.
another chink in his armor and another thing that led to him getting fired, I think.
I'll say, I mean, here's
He'd
the
be in
thing.
a lot better shape if he'd had him as the defensive coordinator this year.
I would agree with that, but I'll ask you this before we move on. Do you think Brian Daboll will get a coach, not a head coach job, but in general?
Oh, yeah, I think he'd get a coaching job, sure. Somewhere.
Do you think he gets a
quarterback
head
coach.
coaching job, though?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think eventually he will? Because he's relatively young still.
Depends. Well, it depends on how he does, what he does with the next team he gets to.
Fair point. All right, let's go to the next one here.
Okay.
Wow,
Tyler Shug earns first win over hapless Panthers. The Panthers had won 4 or 5, giving them some appeal. But Sunday's loss to the 2-8 Saints show they are not the real deal, right? They're not the real deal. The Saints found a way to stop Daboll and the Panthers' running game, which was the key to their win. As usual, Young couldn't pick up the slack, throwing only for 124 yards and had 2 turnovers. Shug played well in his second start with 2 TDs. Young fewer than 200 yards passing in 8 of his 9 games.
Oh,
They've been
that's
winning
rough.
because of the run, but the Saints were able to contain both Daboll and Hubbard, and I think that was the difference in this game. And for the Panthers to win, they got to run because they're not going to win with Young out there. His QBR was 13.2.
Yeah.
13.2.
yeah. You see, he
19
bounced
of
and then
29,
bounced back.
124 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception.
Yeah.
So Shug, on the other hand, here he is, a rookie, only his second start. 65 was his QBR.
Yeah.
19 of 27, 282 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kamara helped out with 22 carries for 83 yards, and Olave, 5 catches for 104 yards and a touchdown.
Hey,
The Saints looked pretty good, but they were playing against the Panthers.
well, I'll say this: you gave Shuck a lot of he did play that well again. It was the Rams. I told you,
Well,
give him
that
a
was
grace
a bad
period.
game to start him.
That's what I'm saying. Give him a grace period here. Look at this: 70.4% completion percentage, 282 passing yards, 2 touchdowns,
Yeah.
no interceptions, a pass rating of nearly 130.
Do you think this is the end of Spencer Rattler?
Oh, big time. Big
you don't
time.
think they'll hang on to him as a backup?
Currently, hold on. Shuck has started 2 games. Has the same amount of wins as Rattler through, what, 14?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And everyone's like, Tyler Shuck is not a starting quarterback. Maybe not a good one. He's better than Spencer Rattler. He's probably the best quarterback you have. Olave finally broke 100 yards for like the first time in forever. I have him on my fantasy team.
Well,
I benched him
Shook
because he's
had
been
a
so
very
bad.
nice pass to him
Oh, it was
down the
beautiful.
sideline.
Oh,
It
it
was
was
beautiful.
Yeah. Running game still sucks, but you have like a walking mummy and Alvin Kamara still out there trying to get reps in there. So
Yeah.
need to work on that. You also lost, Miller, Kendre Miller. You lost him for the year, so that's a bit rough. But big time win.
Well,
because
the Saints are done. I mean,
big time.
But watching Tyler play it would be interesting.
I'll say this also. This is the first time Rico Daboll, 15 or more carries, lost. They were 4-0 before this game. First time they lost with him out there. And also, they were on a big home stretch here. I think they lost to Buffalo, but ultimately, they've been really, really good at home. Had a big time fall in this one. Rico Daboll, 18 carries, only 53 yards. First time. 15 or more carries, they took the L.
Congratulations, Saints.
Good job, Tyler Shuck. I tell you, give him a little bit of breathing room. I'm not saying he's a good quarterback. I'm not saying he'll be good.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Beat the Panthers. So, I mean, again, how much you putting into them beating the Panthers?
Not a whole lot.
Exactly.
Although the Panthers' defense has been a lot better this year, right? I give the defensive coordinator a lot of credit. Okay, next. Here we go. Whoops. Here we go. This is the Ravens and the Vikings. 3 turnovers by Vikings let Ravens win 3rd straight. The Ravens are back with 3 wins in a row. The defense is only giving up 15 points per game, which is very low.
Yeah.
A key to the Ravens' comeback is the trade for safety Alohi Gilman. It's not a big name. You may not have heard him. Which allows the Ravens to play a 3-safety scheme, freeing up All-Pro Kyle Hamilton to make big plays, make more plays. And it's working because they were giving up 35 points a game in the first 5 games. Now with this change, only 15 points per game in the last 4. That's a nice move by their head coach to make that move, bring that guy in, change the scheme around on the fly, and have that kind of improvement. Jackson played well in this game, but conservatively, and only his second game back from his hamstring injury. The Ravens' defense was too much for McCarthy. For McCarthy, his QBR 18.5. 20 of 42, 248 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. He was the leading rusher, too, and that's the problem, right? No running game. They were teeing off on McCarthy. 5 carries, 48 yards. Their leading receiver was not even Justin Jefferson. It was Naylor, 5 for 124 yards and a touchdown. Jefferson only 4 for 37. Lamar, 17 of 29, 176 yards, 1 TD. QBR was really not that great, 43. Henry, 20 for 75, not that great. Lamar, 9 for 36. Flowers, 4 catches for 75 yards. So it wasn't a beautiful win, but it was a win, and it was a must-win for the Ravens.
You got to figure out the second and third quarter if you're Kevin O'Connell. J.J. McCarthy, in the second quarter so far this season, 58.33% completion percentage, 221 yards, no touchdowns, 3 picks, passer rating of 41.6. You think that's bad? Look at the third quarter. 38.46% completion percentage, 92 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks, passer rating of 16.8. J.J. McCarthy has these moments, but they're few and far between. You have to figure out to hone him in. It is his first year, but we're seeing a lot of first-year quarterbacks have a level of success. This is unacceptable, though. You have Justin Jefferson. You have Naylor. You have Aaron Jones. You have an okay offensive line. You have Jordan Addison. And you have a Brian Flores-led defense who has done a lot. Hawkinson, the tight end as well. You have a lot of weapons. Use them. Right now, second and third quarter, no touchdowns, 5 picks. You got to figure that out. He's costing you a few games. He had several opportunities in this one to come out on top.
They put a lot of pressure on him.
I mean, you got to figure that out. You got to get the ball out quick. We're seeing, hell, Drake May under pressure, operating at an extremely high level. Yeah. We saw C.J. Stroud, bad offensive line, operating extremely high level.
This is only McCarthy's 4th start.
He's only had, 3 good quarters?
Yeah.
I need to see a little bit more than just 3 quarters out of 16?
Yeah.
You got to figure that out. Let's go to the next one.
Okay, here we go.
Thursday night.
The Raiders and the Broncos. The Denver offense saves the day as Denver defense saves the day as the offense sputters. Geno sacked 6 times as Broncos went ugly, continuing to rely on their defense, which is working just lovely. Sean Payton, we've got to clean up some of the penalties. We've got to clean up the execution, and that is an ongoing thing that probably never ends. Well, they got to get it better. I mean, the offense is just awful in this game against the Raiders, right? They only scored 10 points. They're 8-2 and lead the division. They play the Chiefs this week, which will be a good measuring stick for them and their Super Bowl chances. I like Bo Nix, but, man, he is, I don't know, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
But when they get down, he finds a way to come back and win. So as long as you're doing that,
I have a theory on that. I have a theory on that.
Okay, what is it?
We saw, especially in this one, there was a throw. I forget what time period it was exactly. I think it was a throw to Cortland Sutton. They were towards the end zone. He's just hopping around, and then he throws it. He doesn't even set his feet. He's just hopping around, and all of a sudden he throws it. He plays with a lot of anxiety. You're down 19-0? Let me just heave it up there. We have nothing to lose. So there's not that level of anxiety. It's just, I have to make a play. Let's just sling it. I think that's a little bit of a difference. He doesn't settle in the fourth quarter when you're down and you're not playing well. You don't really have a time to settle in.
Needs to focus.
Exactly. Oh, no,
his focus is not good at the beginning.
He's either
he gets
overly
focused
confident or zero confident.
When he's under duress. He gets focused. Well, when they're behind,
I don't think it's necessarily focus. I just think that it's kind of what Joe Flacco's doing. He has nothing to lose. He's just heaving it up to his guys. Bo Nix, he's dancing around in the pocket, trying to do something. He has the best offensive line in football, and he's dancing and not stepping into throws. When you're down 19-0, when you're down by 10 or whatever, just make a play. That's all you have to do. Just make a play. Get it out there. Just heave it.
Well, he did.
Yeah. He's got to tone down on the random deep shots. Please. I don't want dink and
throwing
dunk
it
for three
into
quarters.
double coverage and interception.
That Troy Franklin interception.
Not even accurate.
The Troy Franklin interception was unacceptable. Just, be smart with the football. That's all you got to be. And in a Sean Payton offense, that's what you need from your quarterback. High completion percentage. You could do short passes. I mean, that was Drew Brees dink and dunk to Alvin Kamara for the longest time. What's all you got to do? Just be effective and efficient with the football, and Sean Payton will like you. Right now, I think he's a little bit pissed off at his starting quarterback, and it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know if it'll surprise you. Look at a quarterback in this draft. Just to, raise the little competition level a little bit.
Oh, we'll see. The Denver gets to the Super Bowl, or you'll never see that happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they could get there with that defense, so we'll see.
All right, let's go to the next one.
And their coach. They have a great coach.
They do, yeah.
Okay, here we go. The Cardinals and the Seahawks. The Seahawks 44, the Cardinals 22. They blew them out. DeMarcus Lawrence scored 2 touchdowns in a blowout. Falling behind 38-7 in the first half caused the Cardinals fans to sob. With this beatdown and only 3 wins, Jonathan Gannon should start worrying about his job, I think. Yeah. Lawrence returned 2 fumbles by Brissett for TDs. Seattle leads the NFC West now 7-2, tied with the Rams, and beat the Cardinals for the 9th straight time. Missing 5 starters, they had 5 sacks. They have a great coach, McDonald. He really has them ready to play every game. The Seahawks so far ahead, Darnold only passed 12 times in this game. And interesting enough, you pass 12 times, you wind up with a QBR of 82.3. I don't know how they calculate the math there. He had 178 yards, 1 TD, one interception. Brissett, his QBR 29. Yeah. And he passed for 258 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, it's how you make the decisions you make in the QBR. That's why I like the stat.
Yeah.
Charbonnet had 14 carries, 83 yards and a touchdown. Walker 14 for 67. I think the Seahawks are a very well-balanced team.
Yeah.
Jigba, 5 catches, 93 yards and a touchdown. He's over 1,000 yards now.
Well, I think ultimately this was a rough game for Brissett. We we talked very high on Jacoby Brissett right before this week.
He got
hammered. He got slammed.
He got slammed and fumbled the ball.
Yeah, it was a rough game. It was a rough game, and it was even rough for me. I had the Seahawks defense this week, and I still didn't win. It was rough. I even had Trey McBride as well, so I kind of counteracted myself there. But I will say, no, regardless of this game, Jacoby Brissett still operates this offense better. He's getting it to the guys to make the plays. Trey McBride, he's looked significantly better with Jacoby Brissett as his quarterback, and I still will not come down from that hill of they need to figure out a way to find a new starting quarterback. I do not think that Kyler Murray is the guy of the future. I think that there's serious questions about if Kyler will even be there next year.
Well, they're going to get a high draft pick. There's a bunch of quarterbacks in this draft. Maybe they'll take one.
I'm still, again, Sam Darnold played very efficient football. They did run it 46 times.
Threw it 12 times.
Right. He played efficient football. He also had 3 turnovers. I don't like that. That's being risky. That's being reckless with the ball. That's not playing, winning football. That's Sam Darnold playoff football that we just saw last year with Minnesota. Getting sacked 9 times, not being good with the ball. It's rough. But hey, Seahawks, this is a big week. Seahawks Rams. Massive game this week.
I'm going to be watching that one.
Absolutely. Good for the Seahawks defense. They're getting healthy. They're getting good.
Yeah,
they're very good. They capitalized on a big-time moment with a bunch of, Walter Nolan went down in this game. Will Johnson was out for this one for the Cardinals. So, big-time win for the Seahawks in this one.
Okay, moving right along here. The Lions and the Commanders. The Lions 44, Commanders 22. Lions roar back to life after Vikings loss. After this beatdown by the Lions at 3-7, I think the Commanders are done, Nate. The rest of their lost season won't be much fun. No, not going to be much fun for the Commanders. I really think they're done. The Lions played a complete game. Goff, QBR 94.1, 320 yards passing, 3 TDs. Gibbs, 142 rushing yards. Williams, 119 yards receiving. The defense playing very well. Campbell now taking over the offensive play calling. Yeah, I don't know if that will continue, but I think it should. The Commanders look to be done now with only 3 wins, and Daniels hurt. I think, the Lions, they always win. After a loss, they always find a way to win. They've been back-to-back, I think, going back now to 2022 after a loss. They always find a way to win, and they usually beat the crap out of the team that they beat in that win, and they did it here against the Commanders.
I'll say this. What was my big thing? Lions-Chiefs. Run the play action. That's what you're number one in. Dan Campbell-led offense ran play action 51.5% of the time, by far the most they have all season. What happened? You put up 44 points. The offense looks great. Jahmyr Gibbs out there runs for over 100 yards. Jamison Williams has a couple great catches. Amon-Ra St. Brown was very effective in this game. Montgomery had 15 carries in this one. They got their balls. Jared Goff got the balls to their playmakers, and they made the plays. He did his job. Dan Campbell did a great job with the game plan and great job with the play calling in this one. But you're right. The Commanders are done. They're toast. And if I'm Dan Quinn, I screwed up keeping Jaden Daniels out there, a week ago. I don't know if I put him in the rest of the year. I said, get healthy. Don't start another game.
Yeah.
Just chill.
How bad is he hurt? How bad is his out?
Well, it's still indefinite. We have no idea when he's coming back.
Oh.
I'm just thinking, what's the point of putting him out there now? You're done. The season's over. There's nothing you can recover from. Just sit it out, get healthy. We'll go for next season. It's okay. The Lions, this was a big time win though. Still haven't lost back-to-back games since October of 2022.
I like Dan Campbell taking over the play call.
That was interesting.
That shows leadership.
John Morton didn't like to run play action in some big time spots. You in this one in a bounce back game, what do? You run it nearly 52% of the time. And you put up 44 points. Jared Goff has a very good game, over 300 yards.
147 yards rushing for
142. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, 30 carries, 213 yards.
Sonic and Knuckles.
There you go. Again, 50-50 split. That's what you want. 1-2 punch combo. You don't want Jahmyr Gibbs running 20 times and Montgomery has 4 carries. No, you want them split so you don't know.
Yeah, they just stay fresh, too.
Especially, you don't want David Montgomery out there on a majority of pass plays, then have Gibbs out there on a majority of run plays, because then it's a tell. And I also think just, getting it to the guys who matter. I mean, Khalif Raymond, he was playing a lot more than I've seen him, really. He made some big-time catches. And obviously, Jamison Williams, he had a couple great routes. I think Dan Campbell taking over play calling. That'll be interesting to see moving forward against some of these big-time games. But, yeah, good job to the Lions. They're my team still. I believe in them. A little bit of a rough patch, though, so far this season. I love it. But,
They play on Thanksgiving.
That'll be fun. Let's go to the next one.
Okay, the Los Angeles Rams against the San Francisco 49ers. Stafford throws 4 TDs again in 4th straight win. Rams 42, 49ers 26. My summary, Stafford threw for 4 TDs and 12 TDs and no interceptions in his last 3 games. With the Rams playing the best of any NFL team, the 49ers' hope of victory went up in flames. Stafford, 12 TDs, no interceptions his last 3 games, an NFL record. 25 touchdowns so far this year, 20 in the past 6 games with no interceptions. Lethal wide receivers now in Adams, right? He's in the groove. And with Nakua back, I think that's the best 1-2 duo in the league right now, particularly with Stafford throwing on the ball. No Bosa or Warner for the rest of the season for the 49ers is catching up to the 49ers for sure. The Rams are Super Bowl favorites coming out of the NFC in my mind. That's what I think. Jones played well. Mac Jones, not much of a running game, and Stafford was just too much for the 49ers defense. Mac Jones, 33 of 39, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, a QBR of 88.7. Not bad. He's going to get a job next year somewhere as a starter.
Well, he had a higher QBR than Matt Stafford, who I think does take over the number 1 spot in the QB rankings. And while Drake May is the Super Bowl favorite, or not the Super Bowl favorite, the MVP favorite, I think you got to give it to Stafford. Just look, you have to watch him play to really believe that. He's played out of his mind. He brought up 12 touchdowns the last 3 games. This offense is
no interceptions.
Yeah, the offense
20 touchdowns with no interceptions.
That's crazy to believe, really. This offense is clicking on all cylinders.
Devontae Adams in the groove now. They've got a clicking. When Nakua was hurt, he threw the ball to him more, and now
3 or 4 touchdowns overseas against the Jaguars. Yeah. What they've done, and people are pointing at, is they're doing a triple tight end set now. So you have no idea if it's run or pass. 3 tight ends out there. It confuses a lot of teams, and that's where they're finding a lot of their success as well. But yeah, Mac Jones played great. And there's the question of Kyle Shanahan at the end of the game was like, well, if Brock Purdy's, once he gets as close to 100% and he's good to go, he's going to be the starter. My question is why? Keep Mac Jones. He has the hot hand. I don't understand that. Your season, this is a really rough loss for you. It's not technically over. Why give it to Brock Purdy, who, by the way, what if Brock Purdy looks bad? What if he comes in and doesn't look good? Then you bench Mac Jones. You're not going to bench Purdy when he's healthy.
No.
You're never really healthy.
No.
But you can't bench Purdy and all of a sudden put Mac Jones in, especially when you're paying Purdy $53 million a year.
So either keep...
Go until Mac falls.
I think that's right.
Go until Mac falls.
I think that
They're
Tilly
not
is
going
a
to do
terrible
that.
game. 319 yards.
He had a higher QBR than Matt Stafford.
Plus his completion percentage was off the charts there.
George Kittle got a lot of action. Juwan Jennings got a lot of action. I mean, Mac has the hot hand. Keep him hot. Don't cool him off because Brock Purdy's right now ice cold. He's got a lot of rust on him. He's also dealing with an injury. Mac is too, but Mac's injury isn't hindering him or isn't, the thing with Purdy was one wrong turn could have a setback. Mac has a injured MCL or whatever the injury is. He's out there still getting killed in the backfield.
Yeah, I know. I think Purdy could play. They're just staying with Mac Jones because he's on a hot streak.
We'll see what he looks like. We'll see who plays this week. 49ers are favored this week. We'll see who exactly plays.
Yeah. Who are they playing?
They're at Cardinals.
You might see Purdy in that one because the Cardinals are going to be pretty easy targets, I think.
I'll counter you with this one. Let Mac play one more game at least.
Yeah.
You're home against the Panthers the following week.
There you go. That would be better.
Or even, here's the remaining schedule. At Cardinals versus Panthers, at Browns, home against the Titans, at Colts versus Bears versus Seahawks. That's a decently light schedule. There's place for Purdy to be in there to get even closer to 100%. I really do not think, putting him in there when Mac's on such a big hot streak is the smartest idea if I'm Kyle Shanahan. Obviously he wants to, but now there's an uproar, and I think there's some weight to it. Quarterback controversy?
Maybe. I said this way back.
Well, we both did when Mac was killing it. All right, let's go to the next one.
Okay, here we go. The Steelers and the Chargers. Chargers 25, Steelers 10. Rodgers has a rough night against the Los Angeles Chargers, to say the least. The Steelers' most expensive defense in the NFL couldn't take advantage of a banged-up offensive line, allowing the Chargers to win and show they have the better personnel, which is just fine. The best personnel was Justin Herbert in this game, 20 of 33, 220 yards, 1 touchdown. And the worst personnel was Aaron Rodgers, 16 of 31, 161, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and a QBR, if you can believe this, of 4.5.
Scale is 0 to 100.
Is there anybody had a lower QBR than that? 4.5.
Yeah, it's rough.
I mean, how do you do that? It's got to be hard to do to get a QBR that low. After losing 3 or 4, the Chargers have won 3 in a row. The Steelers' loss leaves them only 1 game ahead of the Ravens now. Rodgers, I didn't play very good at all. We were bad. That's to say the least. He was bad.
Yeah.
Chargers defense played very well. Keenan Allen had 2 catches, giving him 956 for the career, passing Antonio Gates. So I think the Chargers, their running game's pretty good now with Vidal, 25 for 95 yards. And McConkey, they have a good wide receiver core this year. McConkey, 4 for 107 and 1. And bringing back Keenan Allen was a smart move.
Well, I'll say this. They signed Asante Samuel Jr., which he's been out for a while. We'll see if that boosts their secondary. Former Charger, by the way. He signed with the Steelers. Rodgers, it was 3. He caused the safety. He got pressure, then dropped the ball in the end zone and fell on it. Rodgers looked all of the 40-plus years that he is in this one.
Yeah.
And his body language was terrible. He looked like a grumpy 40-year-old. He was yelling at the guys. There was nothing there. He didn't want to get hit, but it wasn't it wasn't what Tom Brady looked like when he was 45 years old and didn't want to get hit, where it was 1-2 in the dirt. It was 1-2, and then he was moving, and then he would just he looked scared. There was one throw, it was overthrow to DK Metcalf, I think. Airmail. He threw it and then spun around and pirouetted. Step into it. You're going to get hit regardless. I think that, no. And they're like, oh, we could bring him back the next year. Why? Now they'll figure out how to get to, 9-8 like Tomlin always does.
They're still leading division. So, it's not over yet. Maybe he'll
I mean, with the Ravens doing what they're doing.
Defense? How could their defense be so bad against the Chargers' offense? It's just all banged up. They have no offensive line.
They sacked Herbert 5 times. There were several opportunities for Rodgers to capitalize on this one, and they failed.
Yeah.
And now everyone's saying, well, they don't have a great wide receiver core. What? DK Metcalf is pretty good. I like Roman Wilson. He was your leading receiver in this game. Pat Freiermuth and their tight end core is not too bad. Pat Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith. And they have a guy who could probably play, one of the tackle positions. Calvin Austin's a nice little twitchy piece. They don't have a terrible receiver core. They're average at worst. Let's tone it down a little bit. Rodgers played poorly. He had, nearly 50% completion percentage. He had almost 3 turnovers.
4.5 QBR. Never seen that before.
Scale is 0 to 100. 4.5. That's pretty bad. This was 100% on Rodgers. Nobody else. The defense, it did fine. It was 3-2. The offense scored 3 points. It didn't score until the fourth quarter. That's bad. That's on Rodgers. Unacceptable, absolutely.
Okay, and in our final game, the one last night, which we both picked correctly.
Yeah.
Having the Eagles upset the Packers and cover the point spread. The offense, the Philly defense freezes Green Bay in frozen tundra. The offense performance for both teams was largely botched in this game, making this game ugly and hard to watch. It was a hard-to-watch game, Nate. I'm sorry. There's just no offense at all until 0-0 at the end of the first half. That hasn't happened for a long time. There were 2 big plays by Jalen Phillips, who came over from in the trade with the Dolphins. He recovered a fumble by Love near the end of the first half, and he helped make a 4th-and-1 stop late in the fourth quarter when the Packers were driving. The Eagles led 10-0 with 10:35 remaining. The Packers scored on Jacobs' 6-yard run with 5:49 to play. They tried the 64-yard field goal, which never should have happened as time expired because I don't know what the Eagles were thinking about, but instead of punting, they threw a long pass, which was not caught, and they gave the Packers excellent field position. So I was worried that they were going to tie it up and send it into overtime, but that 64-yard field goal, it wasn't even close. The Packers had 2 losses in a row now. First scoreless game at halftime since December of 2023. Hurts, 15 of 26, 183 yards and a touchdown. QBR 42, and Love, 20 of 36, 176. No touchdowns or interceptions, 38.8 QBR. Barkley, 22, 60 yards. They haven't really broken out this year. And Jacobs, 21 for 74 and a touchdown. In the passing game, Smith was the star. He had 4 for 69 and a touchdown. Brown, only 2 for 13 yards. We'll probably be hearing from him this week.
Even in a win, you'll hear from A.J. Brown about something he's mad about. The Packers are not legit. I'm sorry. Now, here's the thing. We thought this was the easiest pick possible. What I didn't expect is for Jalen Hurts in this offense to literally be put on pause for most of the game. That's what I found that was a little bit peculiar. I didn't believe in the Packers.
Do you think Love is really that good a quarterback?
Here's a better question. Is he worth $55 million? No. Is he a good quarterback? He has moments.
Yeah.
I think the big thing, though, and it's a little bit of Jordan Love lore. Toyotathon. When that starts up, Jordan Love plays well. No idea why, but that apparently is a pinpoint moment. Once there's Toyotathon, Jordan Love comes alive. So we'll see.
That's interesting. I never heard that.
But
I think you told me that LaFleur could be worried about his job.
Now The Athletic had an article about how now Matt LaFleur could be coaching for his job as of late. No. Matt LaFleur is a good coach. He's a very good coach. I think ultimately this was a rough one. And people are complaining about Micah Parsons. He was all over the damn field. He had, 5-6 pressures in this game? He made Jalen Hurts very, very uncomfortable.
Well, the Eagles' offense only scored 10 points.
Yeah, my question is, who knew a mobile quarterback could evade pressure pretty well? That seems pretty obvious. A mobile quarterback evading pressure. If he was a pocket passer, like Russell Wilson will be this year, or this following week for the Packers, I think the point spread was 7.5. It dropped to 7. I'm betting that 100%. That could be a Harvey Hour pick. I don't know exactly. But, yeah, you pressure or you would create 7 pressures, and all of them are hurries. I'll bring it up here just to be factually accurate. 7 pressures, all of them are hurries. That's pretty good. I put that on the rest of your defense not being able to bring them down. You're against a mobile quarterback. Micah Parsons did his job. The hate around that, I think, is utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
What do you want from a guy? He's a pass rusher. See quarterback, go get quarterback.
No.
I think we need to tone it down. This was interesting. The Packers, I don't think they're legit. I don't think that, they came in once they traded for Micah. Oh, they're going to go to the Super Bowl. They rose right up in the Super Bowl.
Well, they started out very hot.
I think they need to tone it down a little bit. This team, it plays down to teams. It plays poorly against average teams, and then has these weird games where they play great. Too much volatility, they're not going places. You want to see stable teams that do well. Last year, Eagles, stable team, great running game. Jalen Hurts picked up the slack a tiny bit, and the defense was lights out. What they do, win the Super Bowl. Chiefs figured it out, stable throughout the playoffs, win the Super Bowl.
Eagles Rams in the NFC Championship game
was that
rematch.
Well, that was divisional.
No, that was a divisional game last year.
Again, Jalen Carter. If they didn't get the sack, Matt Stafford's right there, right down by the red zone. Sack to end the game.
Yeah.
We could have seen the Rams in the Super Bowl.
I know.
I think the Rams.
I think the Rams are the best team in the NFL right now.
They don't really have a hole. I don't see any glaring issue. I mean,
they have a good very good defense.
Yeah,
very good defense. Their offensive line is good. They protect Stafford
well. The running
game's
not fumbling anymore. That was the big thing earlier.
The running game is serviceable, and they have 2 excellent wide receivers, 2 of the best.
Matt Stafford, 20 touchdowns, no picks the last couple of games. You were talking about 20 straight touchdowns,
6 games with not an interception.
That's crazy.
20 TDs.
And when you don't turn the ball over, you don't give extra
4
possessions to the defense.
TDs in every game in the last 3.
That's it. It's crazy. Stafford should be the MVP favorite. Drake May is. He's on a hot streak, whatever the case may be. Stafford, if he has 1 or 2 more games like this, I think he'll be far and above the MVP
17-year veteran.
If he beats the Seahawks after the defensive performance they just had against the Cardinals, they moved to 8-2. I'm saying the Eagles are going to be shaking in their boots a little bit if they want to try to repeat their Super Bowl win. And the AFC, there is way too much going on. Patriots, low strength of schedule. Broncos don't have an offense. Colts, if you pressure Daniel Jones, you'll force him to fumble. Chiefs, they're not even in the playoffs right now. Jaguars don't have an offense that operates at a high level. Steelers are falling apart. Ravens, their defense has been better. We don't know what they look like against a really, really good team. They played a couple bozos lately, so we'll wait and see. Who else? Bengals, Joe Burrow's coming back. We don't know what they'll look like.
They haven't got a chance.
Bills have no defense. Josh Allen's turning the ball over. Chargers don't have an offensive line. There's way too much going on for the AFC teams. The NFC right now, there's a lot of stability. A lot of it. Eagles look, they besides the noise, they're fine. They just have a lot of noise. They can't run the ball very well, but I think ultimately
they could break out on that though.
They could, and I think they will eventually. There's more stability there, though. There's just a lot of noise surrounding the team, but performance-wise, they're fine. Cowboys are bad. Giants, their offense has been fine. Defense is tragic. Commanders, they're done. The most volatile team, and maybe I'm wrong about this, for me, it's 2. The Vikings and the, honestly, 2 NFC North teams. Vikings and the Packers. I don't know what I get from the Packers on a week-to-week basis.
Who do you think wins the NFC South?
Buccaneers. Oh, by far. By far.
Yeah.
Because Bijan Robinson's getting shut down by bums.
I think they have a coaching problem there. In the
maybe
Falcons.
Raheem Morris is maybe he is the issue there. I don't know. But you know, if you name the guy the best player in the NFL, and we haven't seen him really at all the past couple weeks, and against the team that just lost its best player for the next 4 weeks, put on IR, DeForest Buckner, and you don't run really that many big impact runs, you can't label him the best player. The best player was on that field. It just wasn't Bijan Robinson.
No.
That's Jonathan Taylor. I heard this and we'll get into the Thursday night game really quickly. I just want to get I want to ask you this question. Do you think the NFL, and I heard this from, I think, Chris Broussard on First Things First today, do you think there should be like the Cy Young of the NFL for quarterbacks? Because
Cy Young?
Because the MVP award is just quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think why not? Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think having a few more awards would be a good thing.
Well, they have the Protector of the Year award for offensive linemen, which I think is well overdue. Well overdue. I mean, you look at some of the really, really good offensive linemen. Nick Mangold, R.I.P., he would have won it. Trent Williams should have won it. Penei Sewell would have won it. I think Matt Light of the Patriots years ago, he would have won it. He was phenomenal for them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys who should have won an offensive player.
No, I
of
like
the
that. A Cy
Andrew
Young
Whitworth.
Award. What would you call it? Instead of Cy Young, be Tom Brady.
That's what I was going to say, the Tom Brady Award. There you go.
I like that. Put it in there.
Create the best quarterback of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because the MVP award
That
is
would
just
give
washed out by
that would give the voters a little more flexibility on MVP, right? Because they tend to bias to quarterbacks,
It's just
for
quarterbacks.
the MVP.
Yeah.
It's a quarterback award.
Oh, big time.
If you had
for
another
instance,
quarterback award, then you could
Saquon
get
had a good shot for MVP.
Yeah.
But it was because
Just like
Josh
Jonathan Taylor. Do you think he'll win the MVP? Probably not.
Here's my thing. You have 4 games of 3+ touchdowns. I mean, that's an incredible performance. I think he's on pace to break the rushing record. He's beyond Saquon's efficiency right now. But no, because Drake May, Matt Stafford, they're quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Value. If we're talking about value,
I like that idea. Chris Broussard.
When Jonathan Taylor doesn't run well and Daniel Jones gets pressured, we saw it against the Steelers.
They
Offense
lose.
doesn't look too good.
They lose.
Would the Colts have won if Jonathan Taylor didn't have nearly 300 yards? Nope. Not a chance.
No, I don't think so.
All right, let's get into Thursday Night Football. Jets at Patriots. That point spread has moved to 12.5, by the way. You could see it in the bottom left, but just to show, they're in their nor'easter uniforms, which is something they're doing. That's the rival uniforms. Instead of the navy blue and the red, they're now in this weird pastel blue.
Okay, well, at least they have the same logo.
Yeah, they have this. It's not the same logo. It's a different color of the same logo, though.
See.
You could kind of see it down there. It's like a colder blue in the logo, and the trim instead of white, it's like a gray. I know you don't like it, yeah.
Red.
Yeah, you like the uniform that's behind you right now.
Exactly.
Actually, that's your favorite uniform. Yeah, big time. So yeah, Jets at the Patriots. That now points spread moved to 12.5. Justin Fields coming off of an electric 6 of 11 for 54 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Drake May 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick in Week 10. My question to you is, after being the second team in NFL history to have a kick return and then a punt return to follow it up, and they somehow pulled it out against the Browns, do you think the Jets can keep up their winning streak against the New England Patriots?
I don't think so, but I think the point spread at 12.5 now, I think is too high. The Jets always play the Patriots well. Even when they're terrible, they play them reasonably well. Going way back to Tom Brady, the Jets play the Patriots well.
Patriots normally won the game.
The Patriots win the games, but they're close. I mean, the game we went to in MetLife Stadium, the Jets upset the Patriots. Remember that? That was a long time ago.
2015, Ryan Fitzpatrick
first NFL game.
Back right corner of the end zone to, I believe, Eric Decker.
Yeah.
That might have been around Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been
Pretty
December
close,
27th, if I'm remembering correctly.
Right after Christmas.
Yeah. So
I look for Drake May to have a decent game. I look for the running game to be pretty good. I look for Justin Fields to do something. He'll do something in this game. I think Breece Hall will have a decent game. Poor Wilson, he's been getting hurt, right? He left the last game hurt, right?
I believe he's considered out for this one.
Garrett Wilson. So he's going to be out for this one.
I believe so.
So that's going to hurt the Jets a lot. So I think the Patriots are going to win. I do think 12.5 is just out there to draw money on the betting.
Right. I'll take the Patriots to win and cover the 12.5 points.
Really? 12.5? Wow.
Big time.
You're bullish.
No, I think the Patriots.
It's early. We haven't done our point picks yet and point spreads.
Well, it could change.
I'll think about it, but 12.5 seems high to me.
No, it could change, but I think ultimately, no. Drake May in this offense, it's playing on fire right now. The Jets' rushing defense is 25th in the league. You say Breece Hall is going to have a great game against who? Patriots are number 1 in the NFL against the run.
That's
they average
true.
79 yards per carry.
They still have the 50-yard.
I was about to check that right now.
For a running back
against the Bucs, did Rashad White? Yeah, Sean Tucker broke that actually. Sean Tucker broke the 50 yards.
Oh yeah, he had more than 50.
He had 53 yards. That's the first time they had.
Wow, that's still very good.
You're averaging 79 rushing yards allowed per game. That's pretty damn good. I think ultimately, no. I think this Patriots team is going to be electric. I think Stephon Diggs will have a great game. Brandon Stevens is CB1. I think he's going to get cooked. Demario Douglas is going to have a good game. Hunter Henry is still, I think, again, the numbers don't say he's the number 1 tight end.
They only have one catch.
I just think he's an incredibly reliable tight end.
Yeah.
Matt Collins, I think, could have a great game, but against a very bad Jets running defense, Travion Henderson, if he could just hold on to the football, He'll have another explosive game in my mind, and hopefully Jennings could go as well. So you have a nice, 2-punch combo there. Drake May, though, we need to see a better game than what we saw against
the Jets'
Buccaneers
defense has played well recently, and they just traded away two of the two best players on defense. Do you think that that move stimulated a culture in the locker room?
What culture? We don't even know. What's their identity? They don't run the ball all that well.
Well, maybe they're starting to get a defensive identity.
Oh.
Huh?
Yeah, being a bad running defense team.
No, they've won 2 in a row. They're coming into this game. Patriots a key rival. I think the game will be closer than you think. I do think the Pats will win.
What I'm a little bit concerned about is the Patriots are 3-2 at home, 5-0 on the road.
Yeah,
that's weird.
As I say, there's going to be a game the Patriots lose that you don't expect them to lose. It's going to happen. It happens to every team somewhere along the line. As a team, it's a trap game. And this could be it, but I don't think so. I don't think they'll lose to the Jets. There's other games coming up that will be riskier, I think.
We have it as 11.5. We'll see if it comes down. I may change the 12.5. You're convincing me. If it stays at 11.5, I'll take it.
I thought you said it was 12.5.
I saw FanDuel raised it to 12.5. When I made this graphic, it was 11.5.
They're not getting any bets on the Jets. They want to get some money in on the other side.
I'll take the 11.5. I will not take the 12.5. I think 13 points is a little bit too much. I'll take the 12. Because I just think the Patriots.
I'm thinking about it. I don't know what I'm going to do.
But no, Patriots.
I think
they're a really good
high.
team. Really good team. Jets, they can't throw the ball. And here's the big thing. If you shut down Breece Hall, which the Patriots rush defense has done all year, shutting down the running game, Justin Fields just threw it 11 times. Second time all year. You're trusting Justin Fields' arm to do something? He can't move the ball downfield.
He can run, though. I think
that's
what the Jets will try to do. They're going to try to be good on defense and be conservative on offense and run the ball a lot. And Justin Fields can run the ball. That's something that the Patriots of the past, not this year, have had trouble with.
Lamar Jackson
always cooked them.
Yeah.
Any kind of running quarterback didn't have much trouble against the Patriots defense back then. But it's a whole new game, and I give Mike Vrabel a lot of credit. He's got a culture there that players are bought into, and they're on both sides of the ball. They're playing well.
Well, if we remember, and you're right about that, we remember the 2019 New England Patriots, the one that had the great defense or whatever the case may be. The Patriots were 8-0. Then they played Baltimore Week 9. They had no idea how to stop Lamar Jackson. Yeah. He puts up 37 points. Patriots only score 20.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they do as of late. They've lost, by the way, 2 of the last 3 against the Jets. So we'll see. We will see. It's the first time Drake May's ever. This is the first time is he playing the Jets? Oh, he's facing Justin Fields. First time he's playing Justin Fields. So we'll see what this matchup looks like. But Drake May is the better quarterback. The Patriots are the better team. I'm taking the Patriots win. If it stays at 11.5, I'll take it. If it goes to 12 or 13.5, give me the Jets plus 12 or 13.5, wherever it goes to.
Okay.
But there you go. Wraps up a long show. We thank you for the kind support. A great viewership on this one. Over nearly 120 viewers for this one. We have 7 who are concurrent right now. So we thank you all
for
out there for the constant support. We may be here Friday.
We'll see.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. We'll definitely be back on Tuesday.
Well, our picks will be in.
Our picks will be in. We'll make picks, and we'll update you on Tuesday how the week goes. So you may see us Friday. We'll see. You'll definitely see us Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Or my name's Nathan Harvey. That's what Stephen Harvey. We've been close to the Harvey Hour. We'll catch you definitely Tuesday, maybe Friday, right here on YouTube.
Night, Grandpa.
Using Wi-Fi without NordVPN could mean sharing your private stuff with more people than you think. Stay safe on public Wi-Fi. Get NordVPN's special offer and encrypt your internet connection. NordVPN. Online security starts with a click.